We are three indie game developers from Austin, Texas. We're traveling across North America, seeking out indie game developers who are mastering the craft. Along the way, we take the challenge of making indie games that explore some of the same concepts. Who are we? The artist, Diego Almazan. The programmer, Chad Stewart. The designer, Zeb West. The challenge, to create a video game in only the time it takes to drive to their studio in a van. This is the Indie Van Game Jam.
We're here in Binary Solo headquarters in Austin, Texas. Today we're checking out games from Phyken Media in Orlando, Florida. They have Wizard Ops, Wizard Ops Tactics, and Wizard Ops Tactics 2, which is unreleased. We have like a sneak exclusive preview version of it that we totally scored.
Wizard Ops Chapter 1 is an epic 3D action shoot-'em-up game with special guest Michael Winslow of Police Academy and Spaceballs fame providing sound effects.
I'm starstruck. Diego, can you learn how to make 1,000 mouth noises?
I can try.
Before tomorrow?
I can maybe get a couple hundred in, but...
Alright, we could give you till Monday.
That's... The king has reluctantly released the wizard from captivity, but the path to freedom is perilous. Let's play. They help the king and queen raise their daughter until... the queen died in a horrific accident. The king blamed the Wizard Ops and placed them in dungeons throughout the kingdom. Oh, I see. Okay. I could aim the... Okay. Oh, this is dope. Alright. I can repeat them. I think I've got that one in the bag.
Yeah, that's clear, Michael Winslow sound effect right there.
What's it gonna be? Oh man, epic ornithopter.
I think Diego just passed you.
What? How can he be going faster than me?
That's how I play.
I'm firing magic missiles like crazy. There's no limit to my magic missiles.
I'm already liking this.
Okay, I've got multipliers. I'm digging this too, actually.
Okay, it says, hello there, welcome to Big Wizard One Horn's Academy of Wizarding. People call me Shopkeeper.
Little joke there. Oh, sweet ability. Was that just your normal attack?
Yeah. It's the Red Wizard's normal attack.
That's a cool animation.
I wonder if he takes extra damage from fire?
Because he's ice.
Yeah, because he's the Iceman.
Now that we've sampled Wizard Ops and Wizard Ops Tactics 2, we're going to formulate a game design question based on our playthrough for our game jam.
I think all of these things that are done in the game are built around making it really accessible for everyone. What they did is they took something from the genre that might have turned people off, which is complexity, and removed it.
Yeah. You said something about humor in there, and like choosing to use Michael Wilson. Thank you. Choosing...
We'll dub it over, don't worry.
You said something about humor, and the choice to use Michael Winslow is actually a choice to invest in humor, right?
Sure.
Like they are trying to have that be very present in the game. What if we categorize a lot of that stuff as rapper, right? What are the set of choices that you make that's all rapper around a really simple and well-known genre?
Have you played Papers, Please?
No, not yet.
So that's another thing, right? It's like paperwork. How can that be a fun game?
Yeah.
How can we take something that isn't popular right now and make it accessible? Like make people want it.
The core is like a strategy game which has a complex mechanic to it. Okay. The Wizards is part of cool rapper. Like Michael Winslow is part of awesome rapper. That's all in the awesome column, I think.
Okay.
And I think strategy games are awesome, and so does Chat. You know what I mean? And maybe you do too. But so it's not even that far off. You're taking something really boring or depressing or something that you just, when you first heard about it, you're like, why would I want to play a game about paperwork? And then you're like, well, you got to play this game.
So today our question is, how can we take something niche and make it accessible?
There's a Frost Vortex?
Polar Vortex.
Polar Vortex across the United States right now, which the Indie Van might encounter at some point. Well, hopefully we won't hit the Polar Vortex. We've got an 11-hour drive today. Oh, hear the beast roar.
Sit down, shut up.
I brought the VHS tapes again. Take somebody who says like, okay, I hate playing FPSs, or I hate playing RTSs, or I hate this type of game. Like, can you make it so someone who hates that type of game love it by changing the wrapper? One thing we could do is try and make the same game with 2 different wrappers. If it's a simple enough game.
Yeah, simple enough game. Sorry, I'm out of ideas.
Would it be fun to do a multiplayer or a versus game? Like type Pong or something.
That's a good type of game.
Remember like Spy versus Spy?
I never played it.
It was an old Nintendo game. It was a really sweet game. The white spy and the black spy started off in a house with randomly generated rooms. You would just set traps for each other and have to hide, and you wouldn't want to encounter each other in the same room. It was actually a pretty awesome game. But it's totally obscure now, and I haven't really seen a game in that style.
Since in a game series by Tecmo called Deception.
Oh yeah?
Which is, I love the crap out of that game. But Instapoll, who's played Tecmo Deception in this van? Zero.
I like the idea of some sort of top-down competitive game. What if we looked at something like Hungry Hippos, where the object is to try to catch as many of one thing as possible? If it was like, oh, catch all the bees before they sting you.
I think wrestling games are pretty lame.
Yeah.
What? What wrestling game do you like?
I loved
Muscle?
WWF versus or WrestleMania on the 64, as well as WCW versus Nitro.
Oh Christ! Pull the car over. Let's maybe temper this by thinking of some rappers out of because thinking of the games out of context.
Well, like for instance, I think
they kind of want to meet.
Yeah.
I still like the Spy versus Spy game idea.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Should we go for the Spy versus Spy type game idea?
Well, what narrative do we want to go with? I liked beekeeping personally. If we did that, we could basically go around the level, try to catch bees.
I feel like beekeeping fits in good with like, yeah, that sounds boring. Right. But then when you start playing this game, you're like, oh, this is kind of rad,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that is kind of fun.
All right. Well, are we cool with Spy versus Spy game style and beekeeping?
I am.
Guess I'm gonna have to be.
What's that?
I said I guess I'm gonna have to be.
Well, you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you have to be?
Have to be.
Are you just making a pun right now?
That was very much a pun right there.
Like in the same way that Super Mario Brothers is about plumbing, our game is about beekeeping.
I like that. That's good.
Thanks, Diego. I'm glad you hived my back.
This is Phyken Media, a mobile game developer in Orlando, Florida, home to massive, fantastical theme parks, rampant, man-eating alligators, orange juice commercials, and a lot of retired people. A lot of them. But Phyken is injecting new life and energy into the scene, trying to build Orlando into a video game hub. They have released 2 games to date. Wizard Ops, a fast-paced, non-stop bullet hell action game that features the badass Red Wizard and sounds by Michael Winslow of Police Academy and Spaceballs. The second game, Wizard Ops Tactics Chapter 1, is an asynchronous turn-based tactical game where you command the whole Wizard Ops team and lead them to victory. Orlando is 1,123 miles from Austin, Texas. That's about 16 hours of driving.
I'd rather not have to deal with jumping. It's just my thought on trying to keep it a little simpler.
Jumping's fun though. Everybody loves jumping.
I do love jumping. The game sounds pretty complicated so far for the amount of time we have. We can attempt it. I'm just saying we got to be realistic about what we actually think will get done.
It seems like we're talking about it like it's an interior.
The best thing I can think of is maybe like a barn.
going to start with tiles, or are you going to start with what the player characters will look like, or what's your...
I think tiles is something we can start putting a level together with.
Okay.
Yeah, the tiles format is going to be interesting because it's going to be a lot harder for you to do. So Diego, you might want to keep that in mind. That if there's any like small amount of tedious tiles, he's literally going to have to drag and drop it in like that many times. Like there's no automatic select tiles for here mechanism.
The character that we have for our game right now involves coming up with a basic design and executing on it. So made a painting of our little beekeeper guy and broke it out into pieces. So I ripped him limb from limb and ended up making what looks pretty much like a paper doll with various interchangeable parts and things like that. Then I can import that into Unity and animate it and get the guy running around and swinging his little net for catching bees and whatnot.
A stop in Pensacola, Florida for the night gets us recharged. Chad's job today is to make Zeb a tile importer. Otherwise, he'll be forced to drag and drop every tile in the level he has planned.
So it's a lot of writing a bunch of random new stuff on how to read this file. I have to make something that basically goes through all the tiles and says, oh, you're this number, that means this. So then we create the sprite, correct sprite and code.
This looks like a level, but this needs to get translated from this little nice tile mappy creator application into Unity. And Chad's creating an XML parsing dynamo.
I use this to do it.
To make this into game. Diego, can you think of any other sound effects?
That we need?
Yeah.
What have you got so far?
I've got bees buzz,
Okay.
swinging the net, regular walk,
Okay.
jump sound, smashing somebody over the head, where you land on their head. All right, I'm gonna make some sound effects, okay? Just like Michael Winslow, the human voice box, except he's way better than me. You're my hero, Michael Winslow. This episode's for you.
I'm just at least glad that you said his name right now. Who did we visit in Chicago?
Rob Locke. Rob Latch. Rob Lachey.
Robbie L.
Robbie the Wonder Drug. Is this thing on? Hello?
Test, test, test.
Right up on your grill. The game is it's in decent shape. I think Chad, over breakfast, he got the victory condition in the game where if you collect enough honey, you win.
So I am right now kind of putting in the easiest, loosest, simplest forms of everything that we talked about. So the 5-second versions of different things. But hey, I'm throwing honey around, and it's a blast. Really?
What did he say about the parking situation? So we're here at Phyken Media in Orlando, Florida.
Kunal.
Yes.
Our gracious host. He's going to show us around Phyken Media headquarters.
Yes.
Yeah, which has awesome RoboCop guarding us.
Yeah, he is not only our security, he is also the housekeeper, thus the vacuum. We're in the middle of the home stretch of Wizard Ops Tactics 2. We're getting down to the wire and getting all the features and polish and things all, you know, harmoniously, you know, working together.
They're puppets?
Not only are they plushies, they're puppets.
No way.
Yeah. So
You actually run into a puppeteer here.
really, the Fire Wizard was our first prototype, so his backpack is kind of like his jetpack is kind of falling off a little bit.
Hello there. Wow.
He looks kind of stoned.
What? Wait, what? Oh,
He does look like he just woke up.
man, I gotta shave my face.
We knew that one day we were going to start a game studio. Like, it's just, you know, we could probably make more money doing other stuff, I guess. But, you know, would you be happy? You know, for us, probably not. So, you know, it was finally, I think, in 2010 that we decided, you know what, now's the time. Let's start the studio. I actually flew to India for several months at a time to do projects there. I would stow away on trains, like going from city to city, like literally, like, yeah, I would run from the conductor like all night long. Like while he went down one aisle, I'd go the other. Just so we could get to different cities and do presentations and talk to different customers. It's a case of like, we want to get this studio by any means necessary.
Oh, it's got music. Okay. Wait, which am I?
I made this music in the van.
Nice.
Yeah, no, you're bottom.
So the idea is to swing your net and collect bees.
No,
Okay.
I'm top.
How are you, Tom? Oh yeah, you are.
Hello.
Huge level.
Yeah. I think it is.
look,
I'm out of here. Later, sucker. Oh man. Foiled by my Zoom level.
I don't know if these
Okay with
two
that.
will have the hops to get out of this area of the level either.
That's what testing is for.
Yeah.
Oh man. I got B blocked. Crap. I can't jump.
Why are bees colliding?
I think
Look at all the sunny I had to throw. I can check actually. We can see who has more bees.
Yeah, let's see who has more bees, and then we'll see who the real winner is.
The blue player got 3 bees.
Oh, that's not sounding good for you.
Oh, it's not.
Maybe you threw too much honey.
And red.
Take it. That's mine now.
7.
7 bees.
Game over.
Alright,
Ah.
you should just be better at the game.
I thought we were friends.
I was clearly the better player.
No, I was red. I was red. I got so into bees that I got stuck by one.
Yeah.
You guys made that on the ride over here?
Yeah.
That's fast. I think that was like a fun little thing. I think they're like, even if not the initial like intent for a lot of things, just playing around with it like that is kind of almost developing a game in my mind anyway. That, you know, all the things that this could be at its really early stage. It's kind of like putty. I like the idea of like a little co-op platform, or not co-op, competitive platform. And Spy was a great game, so I think that's a great place to be drawing your inspiration from. The game, I think, could be doing a lot more to funnel us together. Playing around with some of the accidents of development, like being able to stick to walls and stuff like that, I think is potentially maybe cool. Being able to push each other around in weird ways could be fun.
Like Scott said, there's a lot of different ways you guys could take it, and I don't really know if there's a wrong way to take it.
Well, from here, yeah. I mean, maybe the wrong way is to like go for an M rating and like maybe that's the wrong way to take it.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great start, and yeah, with just a few tweaks, you know, where you allow the players to, you know, interact with each other, leave traps for each other, that they'll kind of bump into each other. Like it'll create a lot of like really fun gameplay.
This is our most successful game jam yet.
Yeah, so far.
Doing game jams is like a very concentrated way to learn, like
Yeah.
really quickly. Like
That's one thing I've really found is like each time we hit one of these projects, like it's like, oh, here's this thing I don't know how to do,
yeah,
and then you know, a couple hours, a day later, now I know how to do it.
The meeting with Phyken went very well, even though it was in a really rough state, and we hadn't even added like any level of players interacting with each other. they were having a blast just doing things that we didn't expect to each other. They kind of reaffirmed our beliefs of what we need to do for the game. So we have a few things that we need to add, and I think it's good to hear that we were kind of on the right track already with what we were doing. So just adding more kind of interactions between the players, kind of forcing them to get in these little cat fights and get near and draw away and that kind of thing and play with that dynamic. So I'm glad we got as much did as we wanted to.
We're heading out of Florida. I think we've done enough damage here today.
One thing was maybe when you bump into another player, it like actually gives them a little bit of a bump. Like make it feel a little bit tighter so it's like you're actually bumping against each other.
This feels a little underwater.
A little floaty?
Yeah. Hello, this is Binary Solo. Yeah. This is Zeb. How's it going?
Did you just get my email about I'm looking for a video game contractor? I think you guys.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we definitely could use the work, so.
Okay. Here's the deal. We need it by tomorrow.